touch is a nose boob to the palm of our hand. We can use this as a way to get our dog warmed up and focused on us, or as a way to redirect them away from something.
Good boy. Benji, sit. Yes. Down. Yes. Yes. Sit. Yes. Down. Benji, down. Yes. Good boy.
Benji, for come when called, we're going to say their name and then come. And then as soon as they turn to look at us, we're going to mark yes and begin praising them all the way. This is really important while they're young and learning so that they stay focused and they're less likely to kind of get distracted and not come. So here we're practicing some out of sight recall as well. Really important just to kind of practice all the things in the backyard. You can call and then let him go back to playing so he doesn't associate being called with always like going inside or being leashed up to go. Here we're practicing in the front yard on a long leash so that we're in a little bit more of a distracting area, but still kind of advancing that come when called. You can also take a long leash to the park for even more advanced practice.
Nice job.
Place means go there and stay there until you're released. Benji's release word is free. So in this scenario here, I'm practicing just building distance that I can walk away from him, duration between reinforcement, and a little bit of light distraction. So this is one way you can practice with him in kind of a formal training session type format. You ask him to place and then walk around, move around, and then you're coming back periodically and rewarding him. It's important that we toss the reward onto the bed so that he knows all the food comes to him where he's at on the bed, and he doesn't need to try to get up and meet us for it because it's not coming from our hand, it's coming to him on the bed. So if he gets up and you didn't release him, you're just going to simply send him right back, say place, and then do not reward right away when you send him to place in that moment. You're going to send him back to his place, move around a little bit, then come back and reward. We want to make sure that we're not rewarding just going straight to the bed because you'll get stuck in a loop where he thinks he can get off. You'll send him back, he gets another treat, he gets off, you send him back and he gets another treat. So we want to make sure we don't get stuck in that loop. So you send him to place, make him work a little bit for it, then come back with that treat. You can practice this with adding in some little distractions of you moving around or you pretending or really doing a task, as well as things like running or jumping or squatting down. And when you're ready, you just release him with that word free. A fun way to practice distractions is by getting the kids involved. So you can kind of play a game of like Simon Says with the kids where you have Benji on his place and then you're telling the kids to do things like run around, jump up and down, crawl on the ground, just do silly kid things. And then you're periodically rewarding Benji for staying put. In a household with kids, this is just not only a fun game for the kids to get involved in the training, but also really good practice for the dog having some of that impulse control and staying still when they see kids doing crazy kid things. Another great way to practice this is in real context where you would want him. So in my house, this tends to be around dinner time or when I'm cooking. So I've placed the bed there, and then as we're eating, I'm going to periodically reward him for staying put on his bed. In this situation, I haven't actually told him to place with that verbal cue. I've just placed the bed down and he's learned that it's a good choice to make when the bed is present. And so if he gets up, it's no big deal. I'm going to continue to eat and be with my family. But then if he stays on the bed, I'm going to be there to reward him. You will see, I think twice he gets up here during dinner, but he actually just goes to get some water and then he comes right back. So that is why I don't stress too much about it in that moment. But if you're just rewarding it periodically, he's going to continue to choose the bed in those contexts if you are consistent with that. Wait means do not go any further. So when you say wait, you're kind of drawing an imaginary line and they are not allowed to cross it unless you use that release word free like you did for place. So this is really great for things like the front door. If I'm not going to let him go out that front door, then I never have to use that release word because I'm not letting him cross that line I drew when I said wait as I opened the door. With the stair scenario you saw, I said free because I'm going to let him come upstairs with me. It's just a great way to keep dogs from tripping you when you're going up and down stairs. This is also great when you need to get packages out the front door or just step outside even for a second so you don't have to be holding dogs back while people are going in and out the door. You can simply cue wait. You're going to release him out the door like you're going to take him for a walk. Here I'm doing that. I say wait, and then as soon as I'm ready, I'm going to release him free, and he knows that means he can go through the door. Leave it means back away from that thing that you were about to go for.
Yes. Good boy.
So in this scenario, I'm practicing in a training format where I'm dropping food and then telling him to leave it. As soon as he backs away, I'm going to mark yes and praise him for that and then reward him with a treat. In real time, you're not going to have that treat on you. So you're going to do what I call a praise party to the treats. So in real life, he's heading towards something. You tell him to leave it and he does. You're going to say yes really loud and praise him and do a big old praise party all the way to the cookie jar and then get him that treat. It's going to drag out that reinforcement and he's going to remember how awesome that was. Drop it means let go of the thing that is in your mouth. Just like with leave it, in real time, you're going to do that praise party to the treats because you're not going to have a treat on you in real moments. All right, so I'm out on our walk with Benji. So I'm just going to kind of show you the main thing we're working on. He's been doing so great. He's a great walker. Walks really nicely. Yes. And so really the main thing that we're doing here is trying to catch good moments like this. Yes, and reward them. So we're letting him know what we do like instead of worrying about just what we don't like. So we're telling him we do like this. Come on. Oh, there's a car coming. We got to get across the street here. Come here, Benji. Up on the side. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. Nice job, Benji. Here, let's get the leash out from under your foot. We'll wait for these cars to pass. So, yes. Good boy. So when I say, let's go, when I say rewarding good choices, what that means is simply that. When he's walking the way we want, we're going to catch that and say, yes, and reward it. The big factors here to keep in mind, yes, are rewarding with the hand closest to him. So whichever side he's walking on, that's the hand that needs to be rewarding him. Yes. Because otherwise, what you'll have is a dog that starts meeting you in front of you if you're crossing over your body to reward. Come on, Benji. Benji, let's go. Good boy. Nice job. And so you want him to know that all the good stuff happens right here next to him. So we're going to catch those good moments and reward them. Yes, good boy. Yes. And that's going to encourage him to stay close. So right now we're rewarding still fairly frequency, with a lot of frequency to keep him staying close to us. But as he gets better and as he gets a little older here, you're just going to slowly space out how often you need to have that treat there. Yes, good boy. Good job. So that's really the main thing that we're doing is just rewarding him when he's walking next to us, or even if he's slightly in front of us, but that leash still has that nice loose J curve to it. Yes, good boy. You can see he's very motivated, and he does really great on the walks. There's really not a whole lot of pulling at this age for him, which is great. And if you can just keep up with rewarding those good choices, you shouldn't have to deal with too much of the pulling at all, if at all, because we have told him already what we like and what we expect of a walk by rewarding these good choices. Yes, good boy. Nice job, Benji. If he does want to stop and sniff, we want to allow him time to sniff and explore and check out the world. We just want to make sure that we're not letting him drag us off to the side. So if he wants to go sniff within length of the leash, then I'm going to let him do that. We'll see, he might want to do that up here where there's some trees. Then we're going to let him sniff, and then we would just say let's go when we're ready to move on if he hasn't moved on yet. So we'll see. He doesn't seem interested in wanting to sniff right now. Let's go. Yes, good boy. So let's go is our cue to kind of tell him we're going to continue moving now. So if he has stopped for any reason, we're going to do that. But otherwise, this is kind of Benji. He walks really nicely. He's very, very pleasant to take on a walk. Good boy. Nice job, Benji. Yes. Let's go. That's a wrap on Benji's training.